Okay, so this is tutorial number 2. This is going to be eyeshadow. So first things first, after you're done with your foundation, you're going to want to start with some eyeshadow primer. I will comment on which ones I use later. So what you want to do is you want to put some of this eyeshadow primer on your ring finger. You want to spread it between both ring fingers. Kind of just gently dab it all in your eye. What this does is it'll help keep your eyeshadow from creasing and spreading all over the place. Basically, it'll make it sticky. Okay, so once you're done with that, for this look, I'm going to go for a 3-color. I was normally going to go for a 2-color look for the first tutorial, but it is a Bucks game today, so I will be doing Bucks colors for my eyeshadow. Okay, start with a clean brush. You go and you grab your color. That open over here. So once you have a color, you're going to want to tap off the excess. That way you don't get it all over your face. And you got to make sure you do that, otherwise it will end up all over your face, which is not good. Not a good look. Then you just kind of want to start at one end and just kind of small motions, spread it all over your eye. I've gotten a lot of compliments for getting it on the corner right here. I just do that by closing my eyes and getting as close to the edge as possible, and it kind of just happens. First couple of times were accidental. Now I've gotten a little bit better at doing it evenly on both sides, or at least closer to even. And again, I apologize for my really low quality phone holder. So you want to make sure you have an even coat. And what you want to make sure you do is that you kind of go both sides. That way you avoid getting creases from the skin pulling. What you don't want to do is pull your own skin, because then you'll end up with wrinkles, and that's not good. Make sure you get the whole eyelid. This is the base color. Normally you want to do the lightest color on the inside and then work your way out to darker colors on the outside. I do a base coat all the way through. I think it just makes the other colors pop a little bit more, gives them more consistency in a way. Remember, every single time you grab more color, you want to dab off all whatever you have extra. Then with these colors, you want to kind of make sure you blend them out a little bit so you don't have a harsh line. So this is kind of small circular motions, kind of like. That way it looks a little bit more put together and a lot less just harsh colors. This is especially important when you're going to use colors that are very different from your skin tone. Otherwise they kind of almost blend in on their own. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Even if you make a mistake, as long as it doesn't look too terrible, you kind of want to make sure both sides look the same. Otherwise you get different results. And this looks weird. So again, just make sure go from both sides. Make sure we limit the amount of creases we get. You want to go really close to the eyelid too. Not to the edge of the eyelid, I should say. Remember, tap off material. That way you don't have a harsh line between where there's eyeshadow and where there isn't eyeshadow. So again, just small motions. Make sure you cover the whole eyelid. Kind of look around, make sure you have eyeshadow everywhere before you move on to the next color. Make sure you blend. Okay, so I use this, which is basically just like a little sponge in a box to get rid of my eyeshadow, but you can also, I'll do it for this video, is you can also use like just toilet paper or even your arm. Just kind of get that eyeshadow off. You basically want the eyeshadow, that brush to look clean. This is especially important if you're going to go from you don't want to mix two different colors. If you're going from like light green to darker green, then it's not as bad, but definitely want to make sure you do. Okay, so we're done with the base color. So we're gonna move on to the next color, which I'm going to do on this half of my eye. Okay. So again, same thing. Grab some color. Tap it off. And let's go. Same thing, just depending on where you want to put the color. You start there and you just kind of work your way out. So you can kind of see the creases I was talking about earlier here. So that's what you want to avoid. And the best way to avoid is just to go back and forth. Very small motions. You don't want to do big motions. That's how you really end up with creases. Again, we want to make sure we kind of blend out that edge. And also make sure we have an even line right there. So this is what happens when you don't blend. You have a very sharp line between this color and that color. So once we're done applying the color, we're going to go ahead and blend it out. So I'm going to do both sides first and then blend it out. That way I have even colors on both sides. That makes sense. Blend the edges out a little bit. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I think I need a little bit more in this corner here. Remember, tap off material. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next eye. Now some people can do it with their both eyes open. Some people need to close one eye. I really just kind of depends on what you're doing and how you work best. But yeah, the general idea is just to get the eyeshadow on your eye. Pretty simple concept. So again, here's where the evenness in the eyes is going to come into play. Not even yet. So I'm going to keep working on that, make sure it's even. This is something I have a bit of a problem with on some days. Some days I'm just rushing to get to work, so I just kind of throw it on. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh crap, it's not even. So that happens. It's never really terribly noticeable. Well, it should be at least. Okay. So now that we're done, we're going to go ahead and blend out both sides. So kind of same concept, just going along the line and small circular motion. So you can see between the two eyes what the difference is between blended and not blended. I'll go ahead and blend again. Harsh line, softer line. Okay, and again. The whole goal is just to kind of soften the lines between the two of them. So now we're done with the brush, and we're gonna make sure to clean it off before I put it away. Again, you can do this with toilet paper, you can do this with your arm, you can do it with a spare piece of cloth. This just happens to work really, really well. Okay, so we're done with that. So what I'm actually gonna do now is I'm going to take a darker shade of green and put that on the outer corner. So that'll be this guy right here. The reason I put my brush away is that for a sparkly color like this, we get a better result if we use our finger. So take some on your finger. And just kind of dab it on the outer corner. There we go. You see kind of a difference between the two sides. So kind of brightens up the inner corner and darkens up the outer corner. A really nice look. Same thing on the other side. Now you may notice that I do weird faces. Not required. They just kind of help me with concentration and pulling the skin the way I want it to be pulled. And dab a little there for the creases. Same thing, and we are done. This is one of the more complex looks because it's a 3-color. You can do a 2-color, and that looks pretty good. What you do then is just a base color, and then a little shimmer on the inner corner or outer corner, depending on what color it is. I can show you that next time when I do another one. All right.